My name is Aisha Ibrahim, and this is Election Brief. We are on Joy News, Kokomlimle Studios. So we are live also on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125. And all our social media handles are Joy News on TV. My personal handle is Adenana Aisha. Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. The Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, SEMA, and AICPA together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness and Beauty, Chopbox Technologies, a convenience service, and Youth Bridge Foundation. Election Headquarters is for an informed electorate. Please do stay for details. Thanks for choosing us. Despite making a U-turn to allow political party agents to monitor the ongoing transfer of votes, the Electoral Commission insists nobody has a right or authority to prevent a voter from transferring his or her votes, although the EC explains that it took the decision to take care of the scuffles and chaos at the transfer stations. Political parties have opposed the decision, citing lack of transparency on the part of the EC. Deputy Commissioner in charge of operations, Hamilton, is warning the EC may reverse this decision if it is abused.
Political party agents do not have any right or authority under the law to prevent a voter who wants to transfer his or her vote under Regulation 22 of CI 127. The political parties are well aware that one can object to a voter's eligibility on the grounds of residency during the voter's exhibition exercise and not during the transfer of votes exercise. The Commission finds the blatant interference with this process by the agents of the MPP and the NDC unacceptable. However, following internal discussions and in consideration of the concerns of some stakeholders, the Commission has decided to revert to its decision at IPAC. The Commission has directed its officers at the districts to allow agents of political parties to observe the transfer of votes exercise. The Commission will not hesitate to request the withdrawal of agents who disrupt the transfer process.
The National Democratic Congress is meanwhile asking the Electoral Commission to be more transparent in processes leading to the general elections this year. Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustafa Gbande, tells Joy News, although the EC's latest position on the vote transfer is welcoming, it must endeavor to be transparent going forward.
The EC have not done anything extraordinary. What is appropriate under the circumstance of the exercise to allow for more transparency that will end into a credible exercise is what the NDC advocated for. The EC knew that as we speak, this is the first time in the history of our country where we are doing registration. And again, at the same time, we have issues of missing equipment of the Electoral Commission. So therefore, it is automatic that mistrust will increase. If you want to test the hypocrisy of the MPP, tomorrow you will see whether they will send their agents there or they will not.
So is the Electoral Commission bowing to pressure, and how does this affect its independence? Director of Electoral Services, Dr. Sribokwegu, has been reacting to this.
Yeah, as I was telling you, before the start of the transfer, we had a meeting with the political parties, and they requested that we should allow them to send agents to observe the exercise. We know as principles of the Commission, and one of the cardinal principles is transparency and also accountability. So we think that we have nothing to hide. So the presidents of the parties will rather add to the transparency. So we give them the right to send the people there. But when they went there, we read that the parties were getting a lot of issues. Everything that the electoral commission does is backed by law. So we are expecting that if you have any issue, allow the law to work. So now that we read that the offices were becoming the battleground, then we had no option but to tell them that they should leave. So they left. We had another meeting on Monday, and the request was still there that they would think they should allow them to be there. So the commission told them that we were going to have a look at it and ponder over it. Then after further reflection, we think that their presence will help in ensuring that people accept whatever comes up, and it also add to the transparency aspect. So we told them that they should come back, but the condition is that anybody who comes there to misbehave will be taken away from the place.
Okay. So now what would be the expectation? Are they to monitor, to challenge immediately, or what ground rules are you setting for that?
There is no criteria for challenging. So you only observe. If somebody comes and you think you can inform our officer that this one you think, but not in a violent way. If the person insists, we'll go ahead and interview the person based on the conviction of the return officer. The person will be accepted or rejected.
So they
now,
challenge.
You can't challenge. Now, the law is that if the transfer is done and you have grievances or you have suspicion that somebody didn't qualify you there, then you will do the exhibition. Then you go and object to that name in that register that the person is not a resident there. Then the procedure is that there's a registration review officer who is a magistrate who will meet the two parties. Each of them will tell the story. Then the DRO would give a decision.
So which means that the parties don't have any power to stop anyone who's carrying out?
Not at all. Not at all.
Is that really
not at all. They don't have any power. Even registration, they don't have power. The only thing that they say they can challenge. But here they don't have any power to challenge. What they can do that take records of whatever their grievances are. Then during the exhibition, they can object to their names. It's the same as having objected to their names and challenge their names, and the procedure will be done such a way that the officer, this registration review officer, who is a magistrate, will now adjudicate on the case, and his decision will be binding on the commission. But they have no power to challenge anybody applying.
Based on that, the opposition NDC says they still have a challenge. They feel that there's more room for improvement in terms of improving your transparency. They feel that you lack transparency in all of the processes leading to the 2024 general elections. How do you respond to that?
You know, each of the activities that we are doing, they are part of it. Registration, they were there as agent. When the challenges came and the review committee was sitting, they were part of the committee that sat on it, and then they're adjudicating. Right now, we have formed the adjudication review committee, which will look at the suspected multiple lists, and they are part of it. So in everything that we are doing, they are part of it. So I don't know how they want to explain the transparency when they are part of the system. So we have nothing to hide. That's why in everything, we include all the political parties.
I want us to wrap up by talking about what's next for the Electoral Commission after this phase of the transfer of votes. What would happen? What's your expectation on the political parties? And what do you also say to the concerns, for instance, by the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, who have earlier raised some concerns about this transfer process?
I don't know. What I know is that they are rather supporting our stand that we should not allow the party agents to be there. Other than that, I've not heard of any other view. Then with respect to what is ahead of it after this, from this we'll go to the compilation of the special voting for the media, the security services and the commission. Then we'll do exhibition. Then nomination will follow in September. Then we'll prepare for the election.
Is there anything special about the nomination process? Anything changing?
Nothing has changed. That whoever wants to contest the presidential one will have to deposit 10,000. The presidential, that's 100,000. As was done in 2020. We are not changing anything.
What room do you have for political parties which licenses were revoked? Can they still present candidates?
No, you cannot present anybody in the name of the party because that party doesn't exist.
So the option is?
The option is that there are no parties by those names, 11 parties. They don't have any name. So it's like no party existing.
We've seen some new faces come on board, the New Force and also Movement for Change. Have these people registered with the EC? And if they feel their candidates, will you accept their nomination?
To the best of my knowledge, we have not certified any party since 2020. So that's one. But there are a lot of applications that are being processed. But for now, since 2020, we have not certified any political party.
Dr. Kweku, any message to Ghanaians who are watching us?
What I would tell them is that election is based on law. So everything that anybody wants to do should look at what the law is saying and apply the law. We shouldn't use our brute force to force people to do or not to do whatever the law is allowing. We should go with a procedure. If you have any challenge, there's a procedure that you can challenge or object to the person's inclusion or whatever. So let's respect the law and apply the law.
Founder and leader of the Movement for Change, Alan Kyerematen, is urging the Ghanaian electorate to consider voting for someone with a proven track record who has distinguished himself in both private and public life to lead the country as president, asserting he stands above former President Mahama and MPP flag bearer Dr. Bawumia. The former trades minister believes he is in the position to better steer the affairs of the country. He was interacting with students of the Kyerematen Technical University during his tour of the Eastern region.
Mr. Kyerematen, in the meeting with the student body of the Kyerematen Technical University, says the future of the country depends on the choices they make today, explaining how the youth, who are major stakeholders, will decide who becomes the president of the country. He bemoaned the current economic challenges and urged the youth not to be deceived in choosing a leader with a proven track record in performance.
And inside politics, if you are auditing our record, between myself, my brother John Mahama, and then Vice President Bawumia, there will be no challenger. Alan will be your Please don't be deceived. You are looking for somebody who has a proven and demonstrated record of performance. Please. It is not politics that made Alan. That's what I want to explain to you.
Alan Kyerematen, who was accompanied by officers and members of the Movement for Change, paid a courtesy call on the paramount chief of the New Jabin traditional area, Dasebre Kwekubuati, before embarking on a radio interview. The flag bearer during the interview assured of adopting measures to fix the broken economy when elected. When the people lose confidence in the government, there is nothing you can do until they hear something good. Remember how the currency started stabilizing and there was news about Ghana going to IMF. Don't be surprised to know the economy is stabilizing. When it becomes obvious, Alan Kyerematen will win the elections. The Movement for Change leader ended his campaign interacting with market women and drivers in Kyerematen who cheered him on.
I've been joined by a leading member of the Alan Kyerematen's Movement for Change, Nana Ohininto, for a conversation. Grateful for your time, Ms. Ohininto. What qualifies Alan Kyerematen to lead Ghana as president, and how does his track record distinguish him from other candidates?
Thank you very much. Sorry I couldn't join you on video because the notice for me to join you came a bit late, so setting up and all of that. But thank you. First of all, you are looking for a person with vision. You're looking for a person with competence. You're looking for a person with character that cannot be impugned. And you're also looking for a person who has a proven track record. And I think Alan has spoken about it. Now, when I talk about Alan's track record in terms of performance, let me take it off from where he was a young man in the private sector. When just about the age of 23, 25, he became a manager in a multinational UAC. Now, at that time, to get into those ranks, into managerial ranks in a top-class blue-chip company like the UAC was a great feat. Now, moving on from there, Alan entered the private sector as a consultant for entrepreneurship development and business, growing of businesses. Fortunately, he had the support of the United Nations, the UNDP, who helped him to set up an initial program which was called Empretech Ghana. Now, through Empretech Ghana, Alan helped grow and mature small businesses into conglomerates right now as we speak. There are businesses in Ghana, when you hear their names, and they tell you that these businesses grew through the hands of Alan Kyerematen, who actually nurtured them and pioneered some of their innovative ways of growing, then you know Alan has a track record. Moving on from there, the UN still supported Alan to expand the Empretech program into Enterprise Africa, so that now the businesses that Alan is helping to grow went beyond the limits of Ghana across Africa. Now, having said that, in the year 2000, when President Kufuor won the election, Alan, of course, is a founding member of the New Patriotic Party. President Kufuor offered him a ministerial appointment. He said no. Initially, he turned it down. He said, Mr. President, the biggest thing you will need to succeed is a thriving private sector. I have that expertise. I am already in that area. So let me work in the private sector, build up private sector industries and businesses, and your economy and your work towards managing the economy will become easier. So for the first year, at least, Alan refused to take an appointment from President Kufuor. Then later on, President Kufuor put pressure and said, look, I think it would also be useful for me to have your expertise in government. So at least I want you to go become the ambassador for Ghana in the United States of America. That point, Alan accepted. And the performance of Alan as ambassador is there for everybody to see. How, using economic diplomacy, Alan helped the government at the time to secure the Africa Growth and Opportunities Act arrangement, under which Ghanaian manufacturers would export manufactured goods to the American market without any customs or tariff barriers. Alan helped lead the team that got Cosmos to help find oil for Ghana. That was a major feat. Alan helped craft the presentation of President Kufuor's government, which secured for Ghana the Millennium Challenge account, through which Ghana has already benefited something beyond $1 billion, from which we built some infrastructural projects. Now, coming into the presidency, into the government again as ministerial, Alan now comes to join President Kufuor as Minister for Trade and Industry. The first thing Alan suggested to the president was that, listen, if we should continue doing business as usual, if we don't do anything radically to change the structure of our economy, we're going to stay like this forever. So let me introduce some very special initiatives. The cassava starch, the salt industry, the oil palm industry, and then the garments and textiles. The record is there. I mean, unfortunately, people don't even find out what exactly has happened with some of these initiatives before they conclude what happened to the Ayinsu starch, the cassava initiative. As we speak today, one of the smartest and strongest business people in Ghana, Zoom Lion, has bought majority shares of the Ayinsu starch industry. Accra Kumasi Brewery is using starch from that industry to produce cassava beer. Pharmaceutical companies, shoe manufacturing companies are buying starch for the production of drugs, tablets, in the shoe industry, and even the automobile industry for the production of glue and adhesives.
But today, Alan Kyerematen says that he's better than some two gentlemen who have tasted presidency before. I'm talking about Bawumia, Dr. Bawumia, and John Dramani Mahama. He says he's better than them. What specific policies and initiatives does he have that sets him apart from these two gentlemen?
Let me immediately go beyond even Ghana to talk to you about the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. Now, when that project was initiated by the UN in conjunction with the Africa Commission, AU Commission, Alan was the person who was called upon to take it on as the chief architect. At that time, MPP was not even in government. Alan was not a minister. Alan took it from scratch. And as we speak today, Alan Kyerematen has been able, with the help of team members, to put together an architecture that is changing and is going to totally transform the entire economy of Africa, not just Ghana. Now, if you see what John Mahama has done as vice president, I'm sure he's done quite a bit. If you see what Bawumia as vice president for 8 years has done, I'm sure he's done quite a bit. Which one of these two gentlemen, who have been both vice president, and in the case of John Mahama, vice president, has been able to put policies together that goes beyond the economy of Ghana to Africa? In Ghana, it is Kwame Nkrumah that we remember did move and make things go beyond the borders of Ghana. Up until today, apart from Kwame Nkrumah, Alan is the person, not yet vice president, not yet president, has been able to put together a policy initiative that has the capacity to transform the whole of Africa and make Africa one of the biggest economies in the whole world. Something that African leaders have been struggling with since Africa's independence. I mean, if a person can do this, not even in the position of vice president or president, and you come back to Ghana, where within a matter of 4 or 5 years, Alan has initiated one of the boldest industrial transformations in Ghana by bringing 6 out of the 8 or so topmost world automobile companies into Ghana. And today we are manufacturing, assembling brand new cars in Ghana. If that person tells you, I have the capacity to put in policies that can transform this economy, I don't think there's any doubt at all. That's why.
Well, we wish him all the best in this race. Thank you so much. Nano Hininto is a leading member of the movement for change led by Alan Kyerematen. Let's look at other stories. Flag bearer of the governing NPP, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has expressed concern over the growing trend of individuals without royal lineage purchasing their way into traditional leadership positions. He believes this practice is a significant contributor to the prolonged chieftaincy disputes prevalent in the country, which hinders development and promises to address this challenge if he is elected president.
Chieftaincy dispute is a major setback in the progress of most areas in Ghana. Such litigations mostly result in clashes between clans and communities, injuring and in the worst situation, leading to deaths of many. Addressing the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs during his campaign tour, Dr. Bawumia said it was his priority to codify the lines of succession to avoid these pockets of chieftaincy disputes if elected.
Because if we don't do the codification, you'll find so many chieftaincy disputes. Many of the time, people who are not related to the stool in any way come and lay claims to it. They have no relation because we haven't codified the lines of succession. And we need to codify it. So we are going to give the resources to the judicial councils to be able to complete the codification of the lines of succession. And that will be very, very important for us, because then you will know ab initio who is qualified and who is not qualified. There is a vacuum, a big lacuna right now, where everybody can just get up and claim. If you have money, I can come and claim your chieftaincy position and just create confusion, go to court for years and years, but you don't have status, you don't have a claim. So the codification right now is something that I'm going to really push for the House of Chiefs, all the judicial councils to help.
He also said the chieftaincy institution will be empowered to really play its role.
In the paramount chiefs, currently, it's 1,000 cedis a month. Even to attend a meeting, it may not be enough for petrol. There is no payment for the Queen Mothers. There is no payment for the divisional chiefs. And so we need to pay living wages, or living allowances that they call it, to the paramount chiefs, to the divisional chiefs, and also to the Queen Mothers.
In response, acting president of the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs, Professor Ni Welenche IV, said they believe he has a lot of potentials to offer the country, hence should not disappoint.
There has been some rumors circulating around in the media and even from your own political party that Dr. Bawumia will be a pushover. Even when he becomes the president, we dare to make a wide guess on why they think so. It is because of your calm, gentle, and polite disposition. We state with all emphasis that when it comes to effective leadership, you don't have to be radical, violent, or pompous to be a bold leader. Being a bold leader is not about brows, rather brains. Having observed you from afar, we believe you have a lot of potentials to offer this country. Do not disappoint, because your records will always be there. They will be used to evaluate you. On selfless leadership, we have less to say about you. Your
The chiefs, however, admonished Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to let his selfless leadership reflect in his appointees if elected.
The Republic. Excellency, you are an accomplished man. You are a successful man. Therefore, we are convinced you will not fail the test when it comes to selfless leadership. However, the challenge of most political leaders in Ghana and Africa at large when it comes to selfless leadership is their appointees, the party folks and the followers. While the leader may be content with what he or she has personally achieved and what the state provides, the appointees and political handles wantonly grab and loot the insufficient state resources. This is a test we will want to see whether you will fail or pass.
Day one of the Greater Accra Regional Tour of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia started with meeting the clergy, the Islamic community, chiefs, a meet and greet session with traders in Achimota and La Paz. The tour continues today and expected to end later in the day with a town hall meeting where Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will be addressing the youth. Reporting for Joy News, Samuel Mbura.
And this is your election brief. It's on your election headquarters. Election headquarters is for an informed electorate. Log on to myjoyonline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.